She was tucked in for the night. This is such a soft cover, 0 scratches. Whenever I keep the car for a long time in the garage, I usually keep it underneath this cover. So that way when you take out the car, it's perfectly clean, 0 dust. It's so cold. What's the temperature right now? Wait, I think I just passed it. 48 degrees. Oh, I haven't turned on this car in maybe like, I'd say 2 weeks. So, I guess today's video is more so a video about running costs on this e92 M3 annually. I think since the last year I've put 3,200 miles on the car. I only usually drive it just to the gym, 1 or 2 long trips, and I just want to show how much it costs me to run this car, and I'm not going to include any of the like DMV stuff, registration or whatnot, but I'm going to be taking it for service. I have a guy literally down the street that I trust with all my cars. He's actually a BMW specialist, so I'll be taking it to him. So maybe the price that I'm about to show you for the oil change is going to be less than what is recommended by other dealerships or you know, places that provide maintenance to BMWs or German cars. One other thing I want him to look into is the brake light. I still have the original brakes on this car. I don't really drive it really aggressively, and I had said on a previous video that if you typically the sensors have a timer as well as, you know, a certain amount of duration that it can stand. So I'm hoping that I don't necessarily need new brakes. The car feels really good. I did take a look at them. I do see some bite to them. They're definitely not down to bare metal, but you know, especially if this car is driven really hard once in a blue moon, I'd rather be taken care of with good brakes. So we'll see how much he'll quote me for brakes, how much I can purchase them online, or if I should just change brakes with him. And if I'm not mistaken, that's one of my homies. I'll drive past him rough. Just got here. I'm here before they open, but they got 4 minutes. Oh, and my battery. Go turn that off. Whenever I don't drive this car too often in the winter, it takes a while for the battery to recharge. Thank you for the ride, man. Polo, everything Polo, huh?
This is cool.
Nice. Hello, everybody. So, my GoPro died the other day, and basically I got the oil change. It cost $280, I believe. Or was it $230? I'll double check. But just like my suspicions, I do need new brakes. My guy told me that I have to change the rotors, but I'm gonna buy them on my own and probably bring them back for him to change. But what I want to do is measure whether or not the rotors are actually worn, and it's important to do that because I believe the factory OEM kit from like FCP Euro and other online websites, it's around, I'd say like $1,600. The Zimmerman version is around, I'd say $1,200 for brakes and rotors. So what I want to do is make sure that I actually need rotors. I have 70,000 miles. I've driven this car really easily, so I'm not 100% sure if I do need it, but in order to do that, you need to have these digital calipers to help you measure out whether or not you need new rotors, and this tool does come in handy, so I'll show you guys how to use it. So what's unique about these brakes is there's a little bit of a lip right here. Now if you were to just measure it with the lip, you're gonna get a false reading. So there is a so before you grab your calipers, you want to get something that will represent the lip. So if you look as closely as you can, this quarter on both sides makes it feel nice and smooth and kind of takes off the lip from your calculations. So it's a bit of a conservative amount, but this should help give the most accurate reading. So as you can see, the two quarters together represent 3.42 millimeters, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's nice and tight, 3.40 actually, and I'm going to press 0 to zero it out. So look, we got 0.00, okay? Let's take those out. So let's widen this caliper out. So I'm gonna open up the caliper just a little bit, fit this nicely through, and I'm getting 25.28, 25.27. So yeah, I have to change. I believe minimum is 26. So yep, that's how you check it. Let me double check on that number and we'll see what the minimum is. Yeah, 25.30. Yeah. So as you can see, I have to go all the way around on both sides. This lip is deleted with that 0 2/4. So when you check on the minimum thickness for E92 rotor minimum, it is 26.4, so I am definitely going to need it. And I'm not going to bother taking apart the back, because likely if the front is worn, the rear should be worn, and it's sold as a kit, so there's no reason to buy one and not the other. So we'll put everything back together and order it. And I got these brakes done. I'm so sad. So I want to go over the cost. $230 for oil change. Also, make sure you just torque your wheels correctly. I believe for the E92 M3 it's 120 foot-pounds. So you can see the 0, 120. So let's tighten her back. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sad to have to dish out that much money, but that kind of gives you an idea of how much it does cost to run these cars. He did quote me if I were to use the OEM parts, and he kind of bases it off of his own chart. $2,400, and you figure that's maybe a few $100s less than what BMW would have charged me. So 2,400, you'd say maybe $3,000 easy at BMW. So if you do have an independent mechanic and he's honest like that, go buy your own parts, bring it to him if you don't want to do the labor. He said he was going to charge me around $300 for installation. So all in all, if I go with the Zimmerman, $1,200 plus $300, that's $1,500 for brakes. And that's, on average, I'd say double the amount of what it will cost for a normal car. So pay to play, I guess.